Hello and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, welcome, and if you've been here before, I'm glad you're back. In today's video, I'm gonna show you how to create this set of nails. And I've seen this, to be honest, everywhere. I've seen this type of nails and they're so colorful and gorgeous, and I mean I had to recreate something because they're just it's my favorite set so far, I think, for this year. I like them that much. They're just gorgeous. I love them. I hope you will do too as well, and you're gonna see how easy it is to do them, even though they look really complicated, and they are complicated at the same time. If you keep on like exercising and doing all kinds of swirly lines and stuff like that, you're gonna grasp the ability to use your brush a lot more efficiently. So yeah, just keep that in mind. That sets like this are like perfect for exercising, for beginners, for anyone who wants to like let loose a little bit, because they're not really, you don't have to be perfect with anything. So just relax and draw basically. So I really hope you guys are going to love it. If you do, please comment down below, tell me how I did, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and with all of that said, let's do some nails. I have all my nails ready, and I'm gonna start by painting 2 layers of this lavender violets fireworks glitter, and this is just so gorgeous. The camera doesn't do this justice. It shines purple and gold, and it's absolutely beautiful. And then I will remove the sticky layer. You can also buff here if you really want to, just to make sure that it's nice for you to paint on. But I'm gonna remove the sticky layer on all of them, and then I'm gonna go in with the Kirsty Meakin gel polish collection, and I'm gonna use a lot of colors. So I'm gonna use the white out, void, which is the black, lust is red, and then ponyo is the orange, excuse me, Isaac is yellow, Suki, and then I'm gonna use Mick as well. I'm gonna mix these two together. They're 2 greens. One of them is neon, one of them is more like forest green. Then I'm gonna use Finn, Swanky. I'm pretty sure Finn is the blue and then Swanky is the purple. And then I'm gonna use the steady gels from Ink London in black and white. These are gonna be used for like small details and lines and things like that. And then also I have my Glitter Bells brushes, which is middle liner and one of the gel brushes, and the vice versa dotting tool from Ink London, and also a normal dotting tool in like a really big dotting tool and a middle dotting tool. As I said, I'm gonna mix the 2 greens together because you can see one of them is quite dark and one of them is like really like violently neon. So none of the colors really went well with the rest of the collection, the rest of the selection that I made. So I decided to create kind of like a middle between them. I really liked the dark green, but I just wanted it a bit more light, so I didn't want to put white because that would make pastel. I didn't want to do pastel, so yeah. Anyway, I've put them all on a palette, and I'm gonna work on from a palette from now on. And I went in first with the black. This is the gel polish black, so this is void. And I created first like a very rounded triangle, as you saw. And now I just went around the nail to kind of fill up the whole nail with as much of that snake as possible, because this will be a snake, in case you didn't notice. I don't know how, but but yeah, make sure you don't just go like one swirling down or something like that, because then it's not gonna be very full. Make sure you like swirl that line a lot and add in as much of that snake as possible on the nail, because that's just gonna add a lot more detail to it. So just keep that in mind. It depends on however you want it to look, but that's how I wanted a lot of that snake on the nail to like create a lot of detail. And then I tried to create it to be like thicker on the top and then thinning down towards the tail, just because that's kind of how snakes look like. So I'm struggling with that. It's not perfect, but just let's ignore that part. Because if I keep on going, the snake is gonna be really, really, really thick, because it's never gonna be good enough. So yeah, let's just ignore that. Then next, I am going in with that the biggest dotting head, and I'm creating these dots in the rainbow order, as you saw, without the purple, because the purple I'm gonna put in the middle in a second. So let's ignore the fact that I don't have purple right now, and I am just taking my detailer brush, as you can see here, and I'm creating petals basically. So I'm just dragging one side, and obviously I didn't cure any of the colors. I did cure the snake though, so keep that in mind. I recommend to cure as much as you can in between, because it's gonna make your life a lot easier. These are gel polishes. They are not meant to stay in one place. They're meant to self-level. So obviously they will move around a lot unless you make sure that, you cure them and stuff like that. And then I decided that black snake needed a big blotch of white underneath, just to make it pop a bit more and to fill up the nail a bit more as well. I wish I would have decided about the big blotch of white before I did the snake, because that would have been a lot easier. I do recommend, if you want to recreate this exactly, to do that, because again, it's going to make your life so much easier. However, I did not think of that, so I struggled a lot to try to paint around the snake, and I'm an idiot. Also, something I didn't mention in the beginning is that most of this set was inspired by a set done by Nails by Lindsay Michelle. And yes, I said it right, I had to look. Just I got inspired from 20 photos, but hers, I used quite a lot of elements from her set, and I wanted to mention that. So this, doing these swirly lines with the white, here I used the steady gels to create those swirly lines. This was one of her elements, and I did put it on every single nail because I loved it so much. And then I just added some dots in purple and blue, as you saw. Now I'm just removing the sticky layer off of that white, because I want to do dots on top of it, and I wanted to make sure that they're gonna stay in one spot and they're not gonna spread around too much. And this, I had in mind this idea of negative. You know how you can set the photos and stuff to be on a negative, like they used to be the films, the camera films before. I wanted to do that kind of thing. So it's basically space, but it's and stars and whatever, but what's supposed to be shiny and white, it's black, and the other way around. So that's what I had in mind. I feel like I succeeded. I really like it. If you don't, well, that's your problem. So yeah, I basically just added bigger dots. I created the little shiny stars, and then the small dots are supposed to be smaller stars. And yeah, I just thought, for variety and detail, I'm gonna add those bigger stars as well. Then I moved on to the snake, as you can see here, and I'm creating just kind of lines all over it. I had no idea what I wanted to do with that snake, but I knew I cannot leave it without any details, so I decided that this would be my safest bet, because my hand was extremely shaky right now when I was filming this. So I thought, you know what, if I'm gonna try to do really detailed stuff, I'm not gonna do it properly. And this was the easiest thing for me to do at that point, and I'm very happy I chose that, because to be honest, it doesn't make the snake you don't lose that snake in between the details of the rest of the drawing. So yeah, nothing probably makes sense, but I'm just filling up the space here. apparently. Anyway, I added some eyes that were like teardrop shape, and then I added a star on his head and some nostrils, and I was happy with this whole thing. I really, really loved this nail. Oh no, never mind. I wasn't happy. I decided to add some more dots. Oh my god. So yeah, I added some more dots on those petals, and then I was happy with the whole design, because yeah. So I finished with that. I cured everything, and this is how this looks. I really love this nail, as I said. So let's move on to the next one, I guess. Come on, move on to the next one. There you go. Now I'm going in on the pointer finger, and I'm gonna create kind of like a swirly rainbow, because I really love rainbows and I wanted to include them a lot in this set. So yeah, I just went in with a swirly rainbow. And a thing that I want to mention when you're doing a rainbow like this, where the lines are exactly one next to the other, is to make sure that you cure after each line. What I did was I did like a partial cure, a flash cure of 10 seconds, and then I moved on to the next one, and then, you know, I gave it a full cure at the end. So basically I just repeated that until the whole process was done. I love rainbows so much, and I really love this nail as well. I love each and every one of them so much. They're gorgeous, honestly. It's such a nice, easy set to do. I know it looks really complicated, but it's basically like doodling. So I had so much fun creating this, because you don't have to think of a lot of things. You can just kind of go in and do whatever you feel like. So yeah, I will probably do more of these sets in the future, just because I enjoyed it so much. Anyway, moving on, I've done my rainbow. I cured fully to make sure that everything's gonna stay in place, and then I decided I need a big splotch of black right there in the corner. Why? I have no idea, but I did. Probably I thought to like break up the rainbow a little bit, to just, you know, put that black there. And then I decided I wanted to do something over that black, but I had no idea what yet. So I went in and did the stars on the rainbow, this time in white. And I'm doing exactly the same thing as I did on the first finger, which is creating some bigger stars. And then I'm gonna go in with the smaller dotting tool and creating small dots everywhere. And again, this is just like doodling. It's so nice and relaxing, and I highly recommend doing a set like this. It is quite time consuming, I will say, but then nothing needs to be perfect, so you don't have to overthink stuff. You just do it, and that's it. You know, you enjoy it, you have fun. And then at the same time, for the beginners out there, a set like this is going to also add to the time that you spend with the brush in your hand, which means your muscle memory is gonna get a lot better just by doing stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. Then I decided to add those like swirly lines again, and I added 6 of them, not 7, 6. So I thought, you know what else has 6 things? A rainbow has 6 colors. So yeah, I'm gonna do the rainbow on that corner again, but first I decided to add these like swirly bigger lines, just to kind of break up the design a little bit and to add a bit more detail. And then I went in with the dotting tool and I added those dots in the rainbow order again, because this nail didn't have enough rainbow for me apparently. So yeah, I just went in and I did that. And then I cured it to make sure that they don't move too much. And then I moved on to adding some more swirly lines. Yep, I was happy with that. I had to put it down to see how it looks with like a lighter background and not on my gloves. And I do love it. I love how it looks, and that those black lines there at the tip just kind of added a bit more detail, and yeah, I really love it. Then this is the middle finger, and I decided to do another like really rounded triangle, and then I decided to add a smaller one next to it. and you'll see why in a second. But yeah, I gave these a cure after I finished with, and I was happy with the shape. I gave both of them a cure, and then I created some, I think they're called feet or something like that, to create mushrooms. So together with the rounded triangle, obviously I tried to create some mushrooms, and I used both orange and yellow because I wanted to add more colors to this nail. I didn't know exactly what else I'm gonna do to it. I just knew I'm gonna have mushrooms on one of them, so I just kept on thinking of stuff to do, but at the same time I wanted to make sure that I add as much color as I could in the meantime. Then I went in with that steady gel in white, and I added like the underside of the mushroom, and I created those, like, I don't know how they're called, I don't know the parts of the mushroom, but I added those lines there, and then I just went in with the dots, and I added some dots everywhere to again add more detail, and I think they are absolutely adorable. I love them so much. And also I added some lines on the base of the mushroom, as you can see here, again to add a bit more detail. After that I went in with white, and you can see here I'm using the brush from the bottle because it's a lot easier, because I wanted all of that area to be white, and try to make sure there's as little shadowing as possible. Put that in the lamp, cure it, and then go in with I went in with some more of those like wiggly lines that kind of remind me of, I don't know, like seaweeds and stuff like that. I don't know exactly what they're supposed to be, but maybe also some kind of mushrooms. So yeah, I really love them. I felt like they went around very nicely with those mushrooms. And then those two dots at the bottom there, they merged together, so I put only one. After I wiped them, I put only one, put it in the lamp, and then gave it a flash cure and did the other dot just to make sure they stay away from each other better. Then I added, as you saw, some velvet matte, and then I'm using this glitter from Ink London in a second. It's a very, very fine sugaring glitter, so it's beautiful. It shines kind of blue. And here I did another rainbow, obviously. And as I said, I'm going to use that glitter in a second to sugar this design. So I am not curing any of these lines yet. I'm just kind of letting them there, and that's why I used the velvet matte first. Besides the fact that I wanted it to be top coated, I could have done it with a shiny top coat, but the velvet matte really creates that nice area for painting, and I knew for sure that if I'm going to put it on, they're not going to move, because I knew it's going to take me a while to paint those lines, 7 lines, clean my brush, go to the next line, clean my brush, and so on. So I really didn't want them to move at all, and you can see here that they didn't, because gel polishes are not supposed to be for like painting small details and stuff like that, because they are quite self-leveling, so they will move around. That's the point of them. That's why we use them for to paint on the full nail, because they are self-leveling and they do very well with that. So yeah, I try to give myself an easy job to put that matte underneath. Anyway, I've talked about this so much. Why? Then here I'm just applying that glitter and leaving it for a few seconds, and then checking it to see if there's glitter everywhere, and then like shaking it off, looking again to see if there's glitter everywhere, and then make sure you cure twice. So this would be a 60-second cure, because they are normally 30 seconds. And then I'm using this brush to brush off any of the excess glitter, and the brush is called Glitter Off from Ink London. It's a really nice brush to get into those like small crevices. And then that nail is, well, almost done, because I didn't top coat any of them, and that's gonna be shiny. The bottom part is going to be shiny in a second. So yeah, it's almost finished. Then on the ring finger, I went in and I created this like really pointy oval kind of shape. I think that's what's, yeah, it's an oval that's pointy. I don't know. And then I made sure that there's no shadowing in it. I wanted that white to be white. So I applied a second layer of that white and I cured it again. And then I went in with the steady gel in black and the detailer brush to create kind of like a lash line, because yes, this is going to be an eye, spoiler alert. So I'm creating kind of like a lash line, and I'm doing that on the bottom as well. And I don't know, I didn't really think this through very well, this eye. So you'll see me go back and forth with different things at the end, but just ignore that. I didn't think the steps through exactly. I kind of wanted it to look in a certain way, but then, yeah, I should have like, never mind. Anyway, with the biggest dotting tool, I am creating the actual like pupil. Yes. So I did that, and then I cured it to make sure that everything is fine and it stays put. And then I'm creating a nice rainbow basically on the top of that eye. You could call it eyeshadow, but you're gonna see it goes quite high up, so I wouldn't call it eyeshadow. I don't know how to call it. It's a weird design anyway. Everything was really weird until now. It didn't make sense, so why would this make sense? Why would this be any kind of like realistic? But yeah, I'm creating that rainbow, and the same as I've done on the pointer finger, every single time I switch to a new color, or every single time I do a line, I'm making sure that I flash cure it, and then I move to a new color and then flash cure that, and so on. And this was quite easy to achieve, to be honest. I really loved how good this looked. I don't know, I honestly liked every single one of these nails. It's just such an easy thing. And then I usually find something in every single set that I don't necessarily like, but this one I really loved, because you didn't have to think this through. You just did it, and that's it. And then obviously I put some red underneath that eye because I felt it looked really empty with all of that color on the top, and now it looks really disturbing, which, to be honest, it's probably the whole point of this set, to look a bit disturbing, so why not? And then I added some eyelashes with white, which, if I'm really honest, I didn't really like in the beginning, at least. But then I fixed it in a second, because as I said, I didn't think this set through, like this nail through with the steps, so I kind of just went with whatever I had in mind at that time. So then I added some eyelashes on the underneath as well with that white, thinking it's gonna look better. It didn't. So then I went in with black, which it kind of made it look how I wanted it to look. So I really love this at the end of the day, as I said before. Just the process of it did not look great at all, in my opinion. So yeah, and then I added some eyelashes on this side as well, only in black. I don't know why. I don't have an explanation for it. I just did it. So yeah, as I said, it's just doodling, so do whatever you want. Then obviously I had to add some highlights in the eye, so I used the dotting tool to do that, and I feel like those highlights really brought it together and made it look a lot less creepy. And then I did some stars in that rainbow because I didn't want it to be very plain, so I added some stars as well. I mean, she could have eyeshadow in the rainbow order and then have glitter on top of it, you know. It could happen. I've seen it. It looks beautiful. I love it, so why wouldn't she? And yeah, obviously I've done exactly the same thing that I've done before with all of the dots. I just kind of added, them everywhere. I know it's a bit boring now because it's like the fourth time we see this, or third time we see this. But, I just wanted to show you that again and again and again. Anyway, next I decided to do a bit of like black and white stuff on the tip of this nail, and then I decided that black and white is just too little, so I added some more color. You'll see in a minute, but I split that in half, and then I decided I'm gonna do a zebra print out of nowhere. I know it doesn't make sense with anything in this set, but why would it? Like seriously, it's a zebra print. It's supposed to be there, so I've put it there. You could obviously add it to like more things. I just wanted it here and that's it. Why? Again, it doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes sense, so that's fine. And then I decided, as I said, that I didn't have enough color, so I went in with a lot of dots in all the colors of the rainbow and just plopped them one on top of the other. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. I liked the effect. It's just, again, doesn't make any sense, so it doesn't matter. But this is the ring finger. I really love this nail, so yeah. You can see that together with everything else, it doesn't look bad, it doesn't look really, really creepy or weird, so that's good. And then on the pinky finger, as you saw, I kind of tried to create a mushroom, and then I made a mistake, and then I forgot to cut it out, and I'm 25 minutes into this voiceover, so I'm not gonna redo the whole editing. And I'm not sorry about it. But yes, I went in, and again, another mistake. Let's just ignore that. Again, I'm 25 minutes into this voiceover, and I cannot start again because this is the second time. So yeah, I just created a green mushroom with a yellow foot. And then I am just adding the same detail as I've done on the other mushrooms. And the reason why I created this mushroom as well is because I wanted to see how it would look in a different color first. And second, because I really loved how the first mushrooms looked. So I decided, I'm going to add it again on the pinky, and it's going to be beautiful and I'm going to love it. So yeah. Then I kind of went overboard a little bit with those dots, but let's just ignore that. And then I went in with some black on top of that nail, and obviously because it's a bigger area, I'm just gonna go with the brush from the bottle. It's so much easier, trust me. So I'm just doing that, and then I just decided to add those little wiggly lines again everywhere. Oh, I just realized I didn't put them on every finger. I didn't put them on the ring finger at all. Although, now that I think about it, the dots that I've done with like the rainbow colors, they could be the same wiggly lines with the dots on the top, but from the top, so it could be like a field. Yes, that's a better explanation. There you go. That I've done them everywhere. Anyway, I'm gonna do the same thing because as you saw, it's a recurring kind of design, these stars with the dots, but I wanted to finally do it with black and then with white on the as the stars, because I didn't do that yet. I know it seems crazy, but I didn't. So then I've done that on these, and by the time I reached the pinky, I realized that pinky is such a small nail. I'm not going to be able to fit a lot of things, so I just tried to make it look busy without being really, really busy, if that makes sense. So then I decided to do another rainbow because this nail didn't have any rainbow. So why wouldn't it have rainbow? It needed rainbow. So I added rainbow in the form of the dots, and then I realized I've done too many lines. So I basically restarted the rainbow with the red there at the tip of the nail, and then I split the two to make sure that that black pops a bit more with a line of white underneath. So yeah, anyway, that nail is done, and then I'm gonna go in with the Ultimate No Wipe top coat, and this is the shiny top coat from Ink London, and I'm gonna paint it really well. Make sure you get in all the crevices because it's a lot of crevices here, and you don't want any air bubbles because that's gonna, like, you know, you don't want any air bubbles. And then I added a bit more of that top coat, and I'm holding it upside down to make sure it's gonna be nice and even. And then on this nail, and that's the only one that I'm ever gonna show you with top coating, like the rest I'm not gonna show you anymore because what's the point. But this nail, I wanted to top coat that bottom to make it shiny as well, because I felt like with the matte top coat it took away a lot of the detail and you couldn't see the glitter. So yeah, I've put some of that shiny top coat only on the bottom there and left the sugar area alone and stuff like that. And then the same thing, I added a bit more of that top coat, and I'm gonna hold it upside down to make sure it's nice and even, and then all of them are done. They're all done now, and honestly, as I said in the beginning of this video, this is my favorite set. I just love them so much. They're so cute, they're so colorful. I love it. You could even go neon with these as well, so keep that in mind. I know my colors that I used are not neon, but you could definitely go neon. You could go pastel, you could go black and white, and that's it. You could do anything you want, and you can draw anything you want. You know, they are like really versatile. So yeah, I hope you guys are going to try these, and don't forget to tag me because I would love to see it. And with all of that said, I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.